Everybody in life should be given an opportunity. And if they're gonna take that opportunity to better themselves, then good for them. If not, then it's also on them. Growing up, I've always had a passion for writing. You know, my language teachers, they always encouraged me to venture into like a journalism field. And you know, I want to be a journalist, you know, I want to be able to tell people stories. And I felt like going to university, you know, was gonna equip me with those skills that I'm gonna need. Even knowing that I wasn't having any financial aid, you know, I just took like a leap of faith.
After I matriculated, I struggled with finances. I grew up in an environment where women were financially depending on men, you know. They will shame them, they will abuse them, they will get away with everything, and that was not my story. I majored in microbiology and food science, you know. I wanted to be part of the solution, you know, helping people to realize that food, it's essential, it's one of the essential elements towards your survival.
My family is part of the missing middle, you could say. We are not always poor enough to qualify for some of the bursaries, but we're not rich enough to afford varsity really without loans. It was quite difficult for me to decide what to study. But my mother found out about actuarial science and it just fit perfectly. It's going to be a long road still after I've studied, 3 or 4, 5 years even. And that's what I'll be doing, I'm sure.
So throughout my primary journey and high school journey, I was an A student. I really aced my studies, and I used to love politics. I used to enjoy watching the news with my father when he was still alive. I started falling in love with political science, and I was actually nailing my studies. I didn't have textbooks. I would actually take pictures with my phone from my friends' textbooks. That's how I studied. It was hard because I didn't get any form of funding. I tried to apply for funding, but no funding actually ever taken me as the recipient. So, but if that day comes, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to use it very effectively.
Since I was little, I always wanted to help people, but with medical and being a doctor, that stress is too much for me. I don't work well under stress. And somebody taught me about biochemistry. I really want to make drugs one day, so maybe find cures for diseases that implicate people's life, like cancer or Alzheimer's and stuff like that. We didn't have the funds to pay the rest of my final year for my degree, so I didn't know if I even could finish my undergraduate degree.
An extended program where you would have to obtain a 23 or 24 AP score.
I wasn't an A student in high school because I was more focused on my sports. But when I came to varsity, I realized that I need to study. My dad is paying my fees. This is expensive. It's very difficult for him to pay these fees. So I'm actually working at the Office of the Dean, Economics, Management, Science.
Good day, sir. How can I assist you? I'm looking for academic advising.
What I do is I assist students when they're coming for academic advising.
Each of your booklet so you can see what you guys want to exchange.
So the reason why I'm pursuing this study is that once I can find myself and put myself in the corporate world, where I'm able to communicate with individuals, young individuals, and teach them financial literacy and teach them how to invest in your own money.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else I can assist?
So just study, put in your best, work into it, get the high marks you can. Maybe someday, somehow, an opportunity will come your way because of the hard work that you're doing.
I received a call, congratulations, you have received a scholarship. When I think about it, that day, that call, it meant everything basically.
The day I got the bursary, my dad said that stuff doesn't have to people like us. And when I actually showed him the contract, I saw tears in his eyes and he's like, okay, wow.
I called my dad and said, my whole fees has been paid for. He's like, I don't believe it. I'm like, I also don't believe it.
I was shocked when I saw the email because like, this is the first time ever in my life I've been considered for a bursary.
It didn't just change my destiny or my fate, it restored the dignity of my family.
So it inspires not just me to one day go out and do it to other people, but it showed my dad that there are people out there that cares about you.
My faith was restored in humanity because I couldn't believe that, somebody would offer me a scholarship. It gave me a sort of, hope because, there were times when I didn't have hope.
It made me realize that you do have the ability. Don't ever feel sorry for yourself. Don't ever feel like you're not enough.
We are 3 brothers, and now my brothers are more able to study as well. It's helped my whole family, this bursary.
I want to seize this opportunity as being a journalist now to sort of just make a change in people's lives. I want to be able to tell people stories that will inspire them so much, that they can see hope for a better future.
The financial support that we receive from the state is not adequate. The system will collapse if we do not aid, especially those students who may be referred to as the missing middle, who have income brackets just over 320,000 and yet do not necessarily are able to help themselves. We definitely need donors, we need partners for all students to optimally be successful ambassadors of the university but also of our country.
I am going to reach new heights.
Because now I'm able to pay back towards the society and to provide to my family.
This has made me believe in the fact that once I've got the capacity to finance somebody, I will make sure I'll do so.
I'm really thankful for it, and it makes me think I could possibly also help people in the future.
Yes, I believe I can make a difference in the world someday. I really hope so.
It inspired me to go out into the world and to just conquer it.